and he thought that it was his duty he has inherited from his forefather. But Baka was not very much ready to do that, but he was compelled to do that. So when you talk about the title of the novel, it is, touchable. It is not, it is untouchable. It is not untouchable or it is not the untouchable. It means that it is not talking about any particular person, but the uh, title, untouchable, read, exposes the general observation of Mr. Anand that how was the condition of all the untouchables, all the downtrodden, all the uh, Shudras of our country in the early 20th century or in the 19th century or before that. So the untouchable here could be Lakha, Baka, Solmi, or any other untouchable who is forced to do the menial job. So that is a general observation of Raj Anand that there may be any, it's not about a particular person, but Baka is only representative of the microcosm of larger society of a larger world. This does not mean that Bhakta does not have individuality, that she is only a type that represents a section. He is very much an individual with his own feelings, thoughts, reactions, and emotions, responding to the different situations in his own way. But the situation he is into is more important here because so Bhakta will try to understand the a situation that the glorious culture of India has been trying to hide under the guise of greatness. So, as I told you that Bhakta was compelled to be in such situation, though he was not very much willing to be uh, that what he represented in. And other than that, this we have been reading and hearing that India was, a bird of gold, and we had a very glorious past, and this and that. But what about this kind of condition which were prevalent in our society from thousands of years? That how one section of society could be so much oppressed that he has to clean the latrine of the other people, other persons, and he has to serve the other persons. Uh, how we can talk about the glorious past of our country? Uh, so, under the curtain of this glory, people, the writer, the people from our caste, they try to hide the reality which was prevalent in our society. There is a priest also in the novel, and priest, has been revealed that how he has duality in the character, that how you know that religion has been used to stereotype, one section of society that they what they are meant to do. And we see that how, upper caste people and how the, priests or how Brahmins will be polluted when they are touched by, one untouchable. They are touched by someone, from Shukla. But when they will, try to satiate their sexual thirst with the girls of untouchable family, then where is their religion? Then uh, you know to touch the girl, to rape the girl from untouchable family, that is acceptable for them. But in public, if they are touched unconsciously by a man, by a person from down to the family, then they will believe it. So such was the hypocrisy in the society. Such was the hypocrisy in the in our country. And that has been revealed, that has been exposed by Mr. Anand through his novel Untouchable. So we see the pledge beast is the revealed with a released face, that how uh, that how discriminatory practices have been followed by the in the religion. So there are also other characters in the novel who can be considered minor as they appear only briefly in the novel, but they also mirror the predicaments that it inflicted on the lower classes and class of how people turn inhuman towards them. So through the characters, through the leading character, or through lower characters, uh, Muklar Anand tried to depict the reality of our society, the reality of the religion, that how it has been used to suppress one section of society. So, what is the narrative technique of the novel? So you will find that the narrative technique is stream of consciousness technique. It has been about one way life of Bhatha, the protagonist, a person from untouchable family, and how we talk sometimes about the past and about the future. So the novel Untouchable takes place in one day's time, in one village, and uh, the incident concern the character of Bhatha. So we see that it is, it depicts one day time and in one village and in the life of one person, that is Bhatha and Untouchable. So the writer writes in accordance with the three entries of time, place, and action. These are the three entries which have been taught by Aristotle. That how these three entries should be, followed in the literary text, particularly drama. So these three entries have been followed by Anand as well in this novel. So, uh, three unities are that uh, the plot should be uh, in one place, let's say in one city, in one village, and it should talk about the one. It should uh, repeat one full day, a maximum one full day that is that let's say that 24 hours, and it should talk about about one incident, about the incident of a particular person, something like that. So these indeed have been followed in this novel by Rajaram Mohan Rao, by Yuvraj only. It is true that Anand was influenced by James Joyce and especially James Joyce Ulysses. So it was the influence of James Joyce Ulysses that Ulysses is a novel by James Joyce. James Joyce. Under the influence of this novel, Mr. Anand followed brilliantly. And he experiments the technique of stream of consciousness in this novel. His narrative follows not only Baka's thought, but his actions too. It is not only Baka's thought, but his actions too. So Anand adopts the cinematic technique of the camera, following or focusing on certain characters throughout, attempting attempting to catch the minute details of thought and action of the character into the film. So, and the other important feature in the novel of this novel is that the language which has been used in this novel. So you will find that an Indian English has been used in the novel, and you will also find that how from the lower class people how they used to uh, abuse at home and the people. These things have been shown in this novel. That you will see that how the morning we start with the abuser of Laka, and who is abusing his son Baka, saying that he is a very lazy person. So that is very common in uh, you know lower class family. And he that a writer. And we can try to compare the English used by Anand in this novel with the Alkenarayan or Raja Rao, or any contemporary novelist like Amgal Ghosh and Rituvaj and Sudhir. But we can compare that how the Mr. Anand used English in this novel and how his contemporaries uh, used English in their novel. So it is very clear that he has used Indian English, or we can say that the characters in the novel, they thought in their mother tongue and they talk in English. So the colonial burden brought a heavy baggage with it to India, just as it carried the same to any other country that is colonized. So uh, you will see that the colonialism uh, has brought it, uh, their their issues we can say are their uh, style, the lifestyle that may be any kind of that may be oppressive for the colonized people. Uh, so that the way they have uh, behaved with other colonized countries the same way they behave with Indian people as well. So even after independence, it left the baggage with the Indians. When the big three writers are writing, those were the days when the freedom struggle was at its peak and the nationalist power was the strong of the day. So when these three writers, Rajanand, Raja Rao, and Alkinara, when these, three writers they are also known as the trio. When they were writing that time, you see that India was struggling for the freedom, and the freedom movement was, on its peak. These writers did write in English, the colonial language. Every writer has the right to choose to write in whichever language one wants to. It is in the way that one uses English that one can protest against the imperialism of language and culture. Exactly the same thing happened in Anand, Alkanarayan, and Rajara. While Alkanarayan writes English with specific outward tone of his own locality, rather or instinct to in Kantapura, writing in English reminds one of Kannada. So you will see that how these writers, these trio, uh, they use the same language, the language of colonizers to expel them from our country. To, in other words, we can say that to fight them in their own language. So they use English in their writing. So the conversations in English sound like translations of one's thoughts and expressions from one's mother tongue. So as I told you that, when you talk about untouchable, so the writers, it seems that they are thinking in their mother tongue and they are talking in English. In these days, when discussion and debates are on as to whether a translated work should read like an original or a translation, one is surprised to note how Anand deliberately made his English language a translation from regional languages to show how one can think only in one's mother tongue and other expressions are all translations from one language to another. So that's through the use of English, we trying to say that how we can think only in our mother tongue, and those our thoughts can be expressed in any language. We can, but we think in our mother tongue, and it is very much clear with the character in the novel. So there are, issues uh, have been depicted in this, novel by Mr. Anand. Uh, but you will see that the issues of colonialism, the issues of untouchability, the issues of down-to-earth people, and the issues of gender, all these issues have been portrayed in the novel. But as I told you in the beginning, that how Mr. Anand, talked about the life of untouchable, and he talked about their condition, their situation, and uh, also he talked about the solution. That what are the solutions that can be, followed to bring the untouchable from their plight situation or from their plight. So he gave some solutions, like he through the novel. He said that education can bring them out from their plight. So he said that if untouchable and if the downward and if they are educated, they will be able to get a better job. They will then they will not go for the latrine cleaning of other people. So it will improve their lifestyle. And other than that, uh, he talked about the conversion, that what is other possibility for downtrodden, for the untouchable to improve their status, that they should be converted to Christianity. That when they are converted to Christianity, they will have better education, they will have better opportunities for the better job. That was the reason, and they will be get rid of the upper caste people of Hinduism who have been uh, who have been exploiting, who have made victims in past centuries. So then that conversion is given another solution. And other than that, you know, now that another the use of dry latrine also is another solution that can bring untouchables like Baka uh, who is cleaning the latrine of other person. That's how they can how they can do away with such kind of menial job. Then there will be dry latrine. Then the human are not required to clean the latrine. So this is another solution that is given by Mulkraj Anand, so that the you know the situation of the downtrodden of the situation of the uh, Dalit we can say Abhishudras should be can be improved. And so while summing up the novel, we see that Untouchable functions as a social and cultural document which comments on and attacks the caste-ridden society of pre-independence India. So, that it is the novel is a commentary, is an attack, it is an attack on the caste-ridden society, it is an attack on the caste system of our country, particularly pre-independence India. And it raises various issues like caste, class, religion, gender, and emphasizes the need to address these problems that are haunting our society. So the writer Raj Anand was basically concerned with the social problems, is not unaware of the political developments and turmoil of the time. So so in this novel he talked about the social issues, but he was also aware of the political development of our country, that what was going on. And his comments on Bakha's trying to ape the Babu style of dress, reference to Gandhi's visit, activities of Christian missionaries, etc. So light on the pre-independence political and religious situation in Anand tries to protest against colonial tendencies. So, how we see that Baka tries to look like little Christian once he put on put on the cloth like them. It shows that how uh, the people, particularly the untouchable, or the down to earth people, were attracted towards Christianity, and how the Christianity, uh, influenced the society of that time. So these things have been portrayed in the novel. So with this, we are done with the unit 8 that is based on Untouchable by Luthra Anand. So now we will discuss the unit 9 that is Train to Pakistan, written by Shwam Singh. Just give me a moment so that I can share the screen uh, the slide of unit 9. So please give me a moment. So I hope the slide is visible to you, and we were discussing the novel Untouchable that was unit number 8. And now we will start with unit 9 that is based on Train to Pakistan, uh, written by Huswant Singh. So what are the objectives of this unit? The objectives of this unit are to familiarize yourself with the cultural context of reading Huswant Singh's Train to Pakistan, i.e. the partition narrative of India as text of social history of the time. And to understand to understand some of the identities that were being told at the time, and the other objective is to appreciate how these emergent identities were in terms shaping the nation which had been newly formed. And the other objective is to analyze how the interpersonal relations described in the novel become the unit for reforming the communities within the nation. And the last objective of this unit is to analyze the train as an important metaphor in the novel. So before moving to other, topics of the novel, the unit, we will discuss few points about Khuswant Singh as a writer, as a novelist. Khuswant Singh was born in Hadali, now in Pakistan. So he was born in United India, in unpartitioned India, in we can say that colonial India when India and Pakistan were not two different countries. He was born in Hadali. He was educated at the Government College, Lahore, and at King's College, Cambridge University. He took his degree in law from the Inner Temple in London and subsequently practiced at the Lahore High Court for 7 years. So he practiced, in Lahore High Court, as a lawyer for 7 years, and later he became, the writer. In Lahore High Court for 7 years. When Lahore became a part of Pakistan in 1947, he moved to Delhi and joined the Indian Foreign Service. When Pakistan was separated from India, then he moved to Delhi and joined Indian Foreign Service. Kushal Singh was posted out in London and Ottawa for about 3 years, whereupon he gave up his diplomatic career and returned to Delhi. And in 1951, he became a journalist with the All India Radio. So in 1951, he joined All India Radio as a journalist. In his career as a journalist included a spell as founder editor of Yojana. So, Yojana was a newspaper that day, and he was the founder editor of that newspaper. And the editor of Illustrated Weekly of India, and he was also the editor of Illustrated Weekly of India and chief editor of New Delhi. And he was also the chief editor of New Delhi. So, and editor of Hindustan Times. So, you are also the editor of Hindustan Times, the newspaper. Mm. So, his Saturday column, with mails to us one and all, in the Hindustan Times is widely read and reminiscent of the editor's page that he used to send for the Illustrated Weekly of India. But every Saturday, he used to write a column under the title with marriage towards one and all, and which was widely read and popular that time. Kushwant Singh began writing during his diplomatic tenure and his first book, The Mark of Vishnu and Other Stories, was published in London in 1950. So he, when he was, on diplomatic, position, the job, he began to writing, and his first book, that is The Mark of Vishnu and Other Stories, was published in 1950. The story in this volume was vignettes of rural and urban Indian life. The sixth came in 1953, the first of a series of works on Sikh history and sociology that he was to publish in his long career as a writer. So, no. He began to write on on Sikh history and sociology, and throughout his life, he keep writing such things. So his first novel was published in 1956 as Mano Majra in New York and as to Pakistan in London. So the novel which we are discussing now, which we are going to discuss now, it was his first novel, and first it was published in 1956, and when it was published in New York, or we can say USA, it was titled as Mano Madhura, and when it was published in London, it was titled as Train to Pakistan. And you should know that Mano Madhura is the village where the incident happened in the novel Train to Pakistan. It is by the second title that the book is now known, and it is known as Train to Pakistan now. It has remained to date his best work of fiction and the one upon which his reputation as a novelist stands. So this is his first novel, and today, as a novelist, he is known as as a novelist because of his novel, we can say. So as a novelist, his reputation is because of this novel that is going to Pakistan even today. He has written over 80 books. So he has written over, he was a prolific writer, and he has written over 80 books, both fiction and non-fiction. His most popular books are the two volume History of the Six. The most popular books are, History of the Six, which are in two volumes, Went to Pakistan, I Shall Not Hear the Nightingale, Delhi, and The Company of Women. So these are his most popular and most widely read books. So the diversity of Kushwant Singh's output is striking. He has moved across multiple genres as a historian, novelist, columnist, political uh, commentator, translator, and as an editor and compiler of jokes. So you can see that how diverse personality Vishwant Singh had. So he was not only, and today most of us know him as a novelist, but he was not only a novel writer, he was not only a novelist, but he was also a historian, he was also a columnist, and political commentator. He was also a translator. He was also an editor and compiler of jokes. So he had a very diverse personality, uh, and he excelled in all. And he was popular in all the genres he tried his hand. He has mixed popular writing with scholarly work, mixed humor with the seriousness of a political analysis, shocked, entertained, and harangued his readers. So, when you will read his novels or his writings, you will sometimes you'll be shocked, sometimes you'll be entertained, So, it is the combination of all the things. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1974. uh, and he returned the decoration in 1984, protesting the Union government's siege of the Golden Temple in Amritsar. So he was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1974, and he returned this award in 1984 in the protest that the Union government seized the Golden Temple in Amritsar. That Golden Temple in Amritsar was seized, and in protest of that, he returned that award. Kishore Singh has also applied a number of professions, including law, diplomacy, radio broadcasting, and politics. So he was, a very diverse personality, multi-talented personality. So he worked in almost all the fields. So, when you talk about the novel, Going to Pakistan, it is about the, it is known as the partition novel. And it talks about the partition. It talks about the horror of partition. Um, so, that context of this novel is very important to be discussed. So his novel, Going to Pakistan, is set during the tumultuous times of partition. It shows terrible uncertainty that besets ordinary people and clearly, offender of the attitude, loyalties, communities, as two nations are born in summer of 1948, 47. So you will see that how, there were no loyalties, there was no, that how, people became enemies of each other, or we can say that enemies of other communities. How, was the situation, like the horrible situation of that time. So there is a large body of narrative, both real, oral, and written, that explore the human dimension of partition. In this section, we will discuss these partition narratives to better understand the context of the novel. So, we will discuss something about partition to have better understanding of the novel Train to Pakistan. Because the backdrop of this novel is partition of India. It is mainly so it is mainly decades since two nations, India and Pakistan, were born, an event also called the partition. So, uh, when India was divided into two countries, that is India and Pakistan, that is known as the partition, and that is the backdrop of this novel. In effect, the term partition is a euphemism for the violent mass displacement and the brutal carnage of millions of people. So you see that this was the largest mass displacement or migration in the history that millions of people migrated from India to Pakistan and Pakistan to India. So, uh, and this novel talks about that also, and that how brutal carnage happened. That how one community killed, that murdered the other community. So these things happen in the history of India or in the partition of India. So it is a horrific memory that continues to haunt the Indian subcontinent. So the public history of partition has involved mainly two kinds of narratives. One is those that pile up statistics, 10 million refugees, 2 million of them dead, 75,000 women raped. So you can realize the horrible condition that 10 million refugees. So, how 10 million refugees, 10 million people, went from India to Pakistan, Pakistan to India, and 2 million of them dead. That 10 million people migrated, and 2 million, meaning that 20 lakh people were dead at the time of migration, and 75,000 women were raped. You can imagine that when the partition happened, that 75,000 women were raped. That how horrible uh, condition was there, how horrible situation was there. And it was according to statistics. And other than that, those that examine state policies which resulted in the partition, and those, the government agencies who talked about the state policies, what about, according to them, that the colonial policy of divide and rule did not two-nation theory, the consistent conceptualization of state by the Muslim League and the Congress is the ambition of individual leaders. So these were the 2 points which were, which happened during the partition. So both these accounts completely fail to capture how ordinary people got sucked into the violent events of nation information. So what happened, when two nations were formed in 1947? That what happened with the ordinary people? It is, you know, very hard to imagine. It fails to show how there were extensive honor killings of women, how women were forced to jump into wealth by the men of their families, communities, to protect them from being raped and thus bringing dishonor upon families, communities. So you can imagine the situation that how 75,000 women were raped, and how millions of women or thousands of women were compelled to jump into the well so that they can not be raped by the people, and so that their family members you know should be should not be dishonored by the title that that the girl that the woman from this particular family was also raped. You can think about the condition or the situation at that time. It fails to show how families got hopelessly split by the vertical line that came up between them. How people to India or Pakistan from a deep sense of insecurity, how ordinary people were moved to unimaginable acts of bestiality, uh, how others were also unusual acts of heroism, and how identities got forged. So how these things happened, at the time of partition, that you can, realize. And to recall the enormity of the tragedy that the narrative of public history fail to tell us, we had to turn to the considerable body of literature, especially in Hindi, Punjabi, Bengali, which have sought to narrativize this drama. So, that uh, the real, counting or the real statistics are yet not available, because the people fail to show the reality. But these things you can find in fictional work of of different languages of India. But how writers tried to imagine and depict you know, the horror of partition. These works were predominantly written in the years immediately after independence. What followed this was the phase in which the subcontinent tried to willfully forget the horrors of partition. It was believed that the brutal violence of those months was an aberration, a temporary social dementia, and that we need to move on. Like, people try to target that, that what happened because they cannot live with the memory of the partition that they have witnessed, like time. However, the continued tension between religious communities and between India and Pakistan has kept the memories of partition alive. So people try to forget that, but continued tension kept them warm. In recent years, especially during the run-up of the, to the celebrations of 50th year independence, there were concerted efforts to revisit the brutality of partition. Many films were made on the subject and older ones and partitions recirculated. Anthologies bringing together partition stories were compiled. Extensive field studies were inaugurated to collect oral narratives from the survivors of partition. So, uh, these things have been done that the survivors, the people who witnessed the partition, how, the data was collected from them, that what they had gone through and what they had seen at the time of partition. And we see that most of the partition writings have been written by the writers who experienced the partition itself and who have seen, through their eyes. So when we talk about when we talk about the novel that is related to Pakistan, we see that it was published in 1956 and it has since been translated into many languages and even made into a film. So it has been translated into many languages and even a film was also made on this novel. So Sukhwant Singh recreates a tiny village in the countryside of Punjab during the fateful summer of 1947. So that Mano Majra, a village that is in the countryside of Punjab, and it is the microcosm of India. So that what happened in that village happened in all over the country. So mm, the setting of this novel is that village that is Mano Majra. And the traditionally easy and harmonious relations in the fictional village of Madura are disrupted by the political forces unleashed by independence. So that's how there are religious harmony and how the people were happy in that village. That is the microcosm of India, and how that happiness, that harmony was disrupted by the political parties, and that happened in the country, the India overall. The novel follows the fortune of the Muslim and Sikh inhabitants as they are forced to choose new identities and nationalities. These bewildered people are turned from their routine life and are pushed forth into the turmoil and uncertainty of the time. So, as I told you that Mano Majra is uh, is the microcosm of India, that what happened throughout the country, uh, push on things like the show in that through that village. But then to Pakistan, sensibly and skillfully, we owe the episode of humankind's self-destructive inhumanity. It manages to negotiate the violence and the compassion, the cruelty and the generosity of the spirit, the revenge and the pettiness of those times of those times. So, that's how that village, how the things happened because of the partition. So those things we will discuss in the novel. So Kushal Singh's sketch of characters in Train to Pakistan is sure-handed and insightful. There are many characters that come alive in the film volume of the novel. So he has taken the character from the village, and that village is the microcosm of India, of the country, and so that he tried to show that what was the reaction of the you know characters and how the harmony of that village was disrupted by the political activities of the politicians. The powerful district magistrate come deputy commissioner Hukum Chand is an aging, forlorn, mystic willing functionary of the state. He is also a pragmatic realist who seeks in his passion to do his best. The sub-inspector of police doubles up as Kumchand's deputy and king. The village Badmash, Gurkut Singh, who is known as Jagga, is a giant Sikh who walks on the wrong side of the law. So how that different types of characters have been portrayed in the novel. So a frequenter of the local prison, that is Jagga, has a secret relation with the daughter of the village mullah. So we say that Jagga was a kind of Badmash man. He was a kind of rogue personality in that village, and frequently he used to go to the prison because of his mischievous activities. And we see that he has a secret affair with the daughter of a mullah, meaning that with a Muslim girl. The simple priest of the Sikh temple made Singh the pious and respectful mullah Imam Baksh. So we see that that how the priest made the thing, and mullah, that is Imam Bakr. This means that he is trying to show that how religious harmony was there in that village, and how the people live happily, and how there was no religious discrimination among the people. People from different religions, from the Sikh, Muslim, Isai, they were living uh, together. Hindu, they were living together in that village. A Western educated worker of the Communist Party finds his way into Manu Majra rather early in the novel. We see that man from the Communist Party, who is an Western educated man, he somehow he comes to this village. He bears the ambiguous name of Iqbal, ambiguous because his name is used by the Sikhs and the Muslims. It doesn't immediately reveal the religion he was born in. So his ambiguous name is known as Iqbal because people don't know who he really is. But in the Sikhs and Muslims, they call him as Iqbal. He insists on eating only the tinned food, which he has brought with him from the city, and drinking only from his thermos. So because he was an experienced educated, he is shown as a modern man in the novel, and he insists that we should eat only 10 food. It means that according to him, it is a very hygienic food, and he drinks water only from his thermos. Just to maintain the hygiene. So the above listed are not only individual people. This cast of characters also explores some of the prominent social identities that are shaping and being shaped by the nation by the time of independence. So that's what I told you earlier that this village, Majra, in to Pakistan, is the microcosm of India, and the people are the names, shown in this, novel. They are the, representation of a community, we can say. No, if they're a Muslim man, it means that he's the representation of, Muslim. If there's a Sikh man, it means that he's the representation of Sikh. So, such things have been depicted in the novel by Vikraj, by Khushwant Singh. Here he said that let us take the deputy commissioner of Punjab. He is addressed as government at various points in the novel. So, because he was a district deputy commissioner, so he was addressed as government at the various points in the novel. This is not an ideal honorific. In many ways, Kumchand embodies the government because he is the, you know, deputy commissioner, so he is the representative of the, government. That's why sometimes he is known as the government. Striking the government of the just born nation is neither young nor clever. On the contrary, he is really unprepossessive and aging man. Government Hutchinson is, both lecturer and paternal. In his fashion, Kushwant Singh is scripting a social satire. Hutchinson is clearly not just a person. He also foreshadows the government of the day, which, despite its bringing rhetoric of keeping a Christ and with destiny, shows itself to be haggard, clueless, and confused. So, as I told you that the people uh, depicted in the novel pertaining to Pakistan, so they are the representative of particular community or the particular section they belong to. So, in the case of the deputy commissioner from them, Kushwant Singh tried to show that how he was an aging man, how he himself was a confused man. So this was the condition of the government, and he was also sometimes referred as government in the novel. So this was the condition of government of that time. He is trying to say that how government itself was, not that much powerful, and how government itself was confused. He, through Hukum Chand, who was the deputy commissioner, Kushwant Singh tried to, portray the government of that time. So it is 11:31 now, and we will stop here, and we will try to conclude this novel tomorrow, and we will try to, uh, complete one more unit that is 10, that is only half by Isma Suskai. So thank you for attending the class, and I hope that it was beneficial for you. And, thank you so much. So I'm leaving for now, and we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.